Hi, hello there, and welcome to our latest video playthrough from Digital Spy. I'm Matthew Reynolds, the site's gaming editor, and I'm joined as always by Ben Lee.
Hello, Matthew.
Hi Ben, how are you doing today?
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yes,
It's
as normal.
As normal, yeah, it's normally you are jubilant and very ecstatic to be here as always.
Very.
But there's an extra special reason to be excited, more so than your usual, enthusiasm.
Oh, really?
That's we're playing the new version of GTA 5.
That's cool.
But it's very cool. Yeah, and look at it. It looks a bit better. I think a lot better. It looks really, really kind of clear. Like the textures are all done up. This is a very kind of small environment, so that's hard to tell. But yeah, this is playing on a PS4, and there's kind of all loads of different kind of. It's essentially the same game, but they've kind of added loads of little things here and there.
Right.
And probably the biggest and most exciting, at least for me, is the addition of first person. So if you kind of Joey, how you usually you can scroll through different kind of zoom in, zoom out sort of features. If you keep doing that, you eventually get to first person. And it basically means you can do everything in the game, like missions, driving, shooting, from a first person perspective, which is really cool. I mean, on the surface, it kind of sounds like a very small feature, but I think what they've done with these new versions is that they've kind of I believe that they've done something they've kind of replaced every texture in the game.
Oh, wow.
So it's a bit more high definition, and that really shows when you're first person up close. So Franklin's Room, when I played it before last year on 360, I kind of just breezed through the house very quick.
Yeah.
Didn't really interact with anything at all. Didn't really kind of bother with much. But you can see there's just all kinds of little details that I kind of missed last time. There's little board
It's a lot
games.
more detailed than I thought it would be, actually.
Yeah, magazines at the top. Just kind of just different things you can look around in his room. There's kind of a freaky mirror kind of that you can kind of go up to, and his eyes just whoa. His wardrobe, and you can just walk around and explore the house. Yeah, and it's I don't know, for someone who has played GTA 5 from start to finish, it's something like this that actually makes me kind of enjoy go back to it. So I haven't put a lot of time into this new version, but for the time I have, I've just basically spent it walking around, just kind of seeing stuff up close. Like the kitchen, there's some random cereals, and then there's a dirty plate in the sink, and then there's some chicken noodles. It's really stupid, meaningless stuff. It's a weird, a game as kind of big in scope as this, for them to kind of come back to it and see all these little details is surprisingly. I think it's very strange.
Yeah.
To have
Drink a beer.
Yes,
honestly,
I did this earlier. So all the animations I've done in first person, they've been redone again. Again, I think in the main game I probably wouldn't have cared that much. I think I stopped caring about kind of cute little household animations back in Shenmue. Even though I love Shenmue because of that, but I think most games since they've done it then it's well, okay, that's been done before. But in this game I'm kind of enjoying it again. There's photos to view of different family members and friends, all kinds of stuff here. Yeah, it's kind of weird how much attention to detail there actually is in this game. You can sit down, you can turn on the TV. Let's just do that very quick. Yeah, why not? Let's take a seat.
So this is essentially now a life simulator.
Basically, yeah. A very surreal, very strange. You can smoke. I remember you could do this, all this sort of stuff in the original, or rather last year's version. But yeah, it just seemed kind of. I don't know. It invites you more to do it. I think in first person.
Yeah,
it's a different perspective. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So he's just getting high, and you can watch that happen, and then run off and do stuff. But that's kind of I think probably one of the biggest new additions. I think is first person, and we'll kind of continue exploring like that. But there's tons of other stuff. There's PS4. There's kind of loads of little DualShock things radio conversations, phone conversations that they come out the speaker.
Okay.
The lights go on and off, spiraling, kind of flashing when police are chasing you. You can use kind of the touchpad to do various things. So I want to stand up. I want to get out of here. So that's kind of the PS4 thing. A very obvious one is a very big visual upgrade. So it's high resolution, higher frame rate. It's still it's not perfectly consistent. But it's especially when going through traffic, but it's a lot better. The draw distance is very much. It's weird because it's I remember playing. So I finished playing GTA 5 back in the summer. So after kind of new consoles came out, and I went back to it on 360, and I thought it actually held up really well. like draw distances and graphics and everything else. But this, yeah, it's remarkable kind of how well it still looks. With enhanced visuals. So you can do first person driving and handling. Actually, it controls something actually slightly better than it does in third person. It's weird for GTA games. For me, I don't know about you, but it always takes me like a little adjustment to get back into driving.
Yeah, I'm not. So, for example, if I wanted to, this first person view seems really appealing to me, but I don't like first person when I'm driving, like in driving games, for example. So, how much is there a way to kind of set it so you can stay in first person outside of vehicles and then third person in vehicles?
Well, Ben, I'm glad you asked. Because yeah, you can do that. You can as quickly. It's not ever fun to show menus, but I think in this case it's kind of important. So controls. There's basically controls of third person. There's controls also first person. So I switched it to standard FPS. So instead of there's a real driving thing I think when you're in first person where you tap X still to sprint.
Yeah.
And no first person game, I don't think ever has done that. So you can map it to be like a standard shooter where you click in the left stick.
Right.
So I haven't actually played it enough and jumping between the two to actually think if that's jarring or not. But that at least makes it an easier transition when I want to play that way.
Yeah.
You can change the sensitivity, all that sort of stuff. But I think there is an option. So you can do combat roll, head bombing, third person cover. There's lots of little options here. I think so. It feels like they've actually gone through it step by step and thinking what actually works for people.
You can even turn light bar effects off.
Yes, you can, and you can also turn the speaker off, which many games don't do, which is good. There is a way to do it. I'm pretty sure there is. I've heard about it plenty of times. We can't find it right now. But yeah, that is, and if not, you can just literally tap. So I've been doing that so far playing. I've been it's better to see, I think, the visuals in third person, kind of how different they look by doing that. But yeah, it's weird. Controlling it feels better in first person. I still think it feels a little bit hard to get it back into. I think by the end of GTA 5, I was just blitzing through every area, just going through that way. It works surprisingly well. So visually, obviously, there's a huge upgrade, frame rate, textures, etc., etc. They also added things like new damage effects, weather, foliage, that sort of thing. Little things. I think the opening area when you're in Northampton, where it's very snowy, it looks an awful lot better than it did last time. The snow kind of glistens in places, because it's kind of frosted over. There's the snow effect, that falls through the sky, the on the floor. Everything just looks a bit more realistic. It's very, it's weird because I'm playing Far Cry 4 an awful lot at the minute. I think that looks probably a more realistic game for sure. But this game looks good, but it's also very stylish. Right. It's so stylized in kind of an almost slightly cartoonish way. And that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not quite kind of the same approach to an open world game. Let's actually play this in first person. So I can click in the left stick, run around, just wildly
cause havoc.
Yeah.
Is it harder to kind of, I don't know, have you found the melee to be kind of difficult to kind of aim because of the first person view?
This is the first time I've decided to kick someone to death, so I can't really say. That seemed okay.
The grass looks nice.
Yeah. Oh wow, I'm bleeding, I think. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, foliage. Did you hear about the foliage gate with GTA 5?
No.
The Xbox One version has less foliage than the PS4 version.
Really?
And that's caused quite a stir.
Wow. I can. Yeah.
You can look at it. I think
I want all my grass. Damn it.
I know. That's the thing. Xbox One. It's not as if Xbox One is barren. If areas in the wilderness look fine. I think it's basically. It looks like a developer saw that the PS4 they could push it a bit further in a particular area, so they add a bit more foliage, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, Xbox. As far as I can tell, it's absolutely fine on Xbox One. So I've been. It's weird. I've just been roaming the street and just looking at stuff. Anything like this, I probably wouldn't have checked last time. You know what I mean? It's very. It's weird. And I think GTA 4 as well was a game that I think. That was a lot more attention to detail than previous GTA games, so I spent a lot more time just roaming the world and just doing what I'm doing now. But GTA 5 I didn't quite do that. I think because maybe the mission variety was a bit better, so I wasn't focused on the world as such. I was more focused on just playing the missions and enjoying that necessarily. But yeah, it'd be good to. Apparently, you can go on the rides in first person, so I think we need to go south. Yeah, as you can see, I've unlocked very few of the little of the map, so it'd be good to actually go to the beach and check out like the ocean and stuff. Yeah, obviously we also broadcasting this on Twitch. So anyone got any comments, then you're more than welcome to kind of check that out.
You should hijack a car again.
Yeah, we should. So did you played through a bunch of GTA 5? Is that right, Ben?
Yeah, I played through like maybe like 3/4 of the story.
Yeah.
And that's about 20-25 hours in total.
Yeah, you're right. Because I remember actually us chatting. We got to the same point in the story. And
Yeah.
stopped, and early this year I got back into it and finished it off. Yeah, I think there's a point in the story where it kind of like it lulls a little bit. I think. Yeah. And you've not been compelled to go back into it.
No, I wasn't really huge. I wasn't really a huge fan of the game. I mean, but then again, I'm not really into GTA in general.
Right. Yeah, because you haven't finished one.
No, I've played 3. I played Vice City, I played San Andreas, I played 4. I own all of them.
Yeah.
But I've never actually. I don't know. There's just something. At some point, I just kind of get bored of it, and
Yeah. Head south. Head to kind of like the beach area, and we'll check that out. Yeah. Right now, you obviously can't see this, but the light bar is flashing blue and red because Ben is being chased. So take a left or a right, Ben. Get out of the way of the police. How do you find it driving? I'll basically pass the controller to Ben to see what he feels of it.
Well, I crashed into a couple of cars because I can't handle first person driving.
Yeah. The police are right on top of you, Ben.
See, the thing, in first person, I can't actually see where the cops are in terms of like.
Yeah,
you know, like
there was one that I'd always check the mini map.
I usually do, but I don't get a really sense of how close they are. Like how close behind.
Take a right here. Oh, I think they've got you actually. Yeah, you're just in their radius.
Oop. Yeah, I don't know, it's just like open world games in general. It's just like I find this quite disconnect between your character and what you can do in the open world.
How do you mean?
Bit. Like, you know, oops. You know, like for example, Red Dead Redemption. You know, you're a character who, you know, is trying to kind of atone for his kind of mistakes, and you know, he's not really a murderer.
You picked the worst car to get away in.
Yeah, that's probably why it wasn't.
I think it's probably worth it. Actually, no, I'm not going to try and get busted. I'm going to try and.
I've completely forgotten the controls of this game, so that's another.
Well, I think like first person controls are the same as other shooters. Yeah, Ben successfully getting away there. Yeah, let's head to the beach. Let's check out all the stuff there. Because everything, that's the other thing, it's not just like new visuals. I think they've also flashed out like the world with like more wildlife, more like cars and things and stuff. Which I'm interested to see like how that would work in terms of like a mission. Like if there's more traffic on the roads, would a mission be harder technically? I'm not sure how that would work. Yeah, let's jump this car.
But yeah, the other reason why open world games I'm not really fond of usually is that, you know, a lot of it, like going from mission to mission, is just a lot of kind of driving around or kind of travelling on foot or stuff that isn't really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like, you know, like LA Noire is quite an extreme example where there's like nothing kind of going on in the actual world almost.
Yes, I loved LA Noire because I think the missions. I'm bringing up Shenmue twice on a podcast now, but like a lot of that game reminds me of Shenmue in terms of the attention to detail. Like you're a detective, you kind of like comb through clues and chat to people. There's a lot I loved about the game, but the open world just didn't seem part of it. Like I just got my partner to drive me everywhere.
Yeah, it seemed quite pointless. Like not exactly pointless, but yeah. But you know, but for example, like Far Cry 3 and 4, like you go from point A to point B to get to the next mission, but there's always interesting stuff that you can do in between.
Yeah.
You know, like it feels, and it's not just stuff that you can do, it's stuff that actually helps you in the long run. You know, for example, like hunting, you kind of, you know, you get better equipment, you know, or you get rewards. So like with GTA, you know, when I go to mission, like I feel like there's not enough interesting in between
Right.
to get to the next point. And I feel like I just rather just fast travel to the next mission point instead of like having to drive to the next point.
Yeah,
If that
yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah, I could sort of see that. I think GTA 5 does address it better.
Mm.
There's like those kind of, I don't know what they're called, but there's like random events that happen, like there's someone being mugged, or there's like you kind of stop and you kind of help out, and there's a little storyline there. I think actually that's been like used in, what's the game I'm thinking of? I'm just getting to the airport here. I think what we should do, I don't know if the blimp is around here, we should also call, so there's also new vehicles in the game, and
That is not one of them.
that is not one of them, but you can call it your phone. It's also obviously in first person. I believe I have a blimp we can check out, so that'd be quite good. Yeah, like I mean, Red Dead Redemption is one of the best games in terms of like you go somewhere and then stuff will happen to you.
But even then, like the thing they should have with that,
and this kind of does that, but I don't think it did it quite to the same degree.
the issue I have with that sort of stuff is like there's no kind of proper reward for doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a little bit of money, you got a little bit of, I don't know, like money is not an issue in these games at all.
Yeah.
So it's just like a 1 or 2 minute kind of like diversion, which I didn't have to do. Whereas like going back to Far Cry, at least the stuff that I was doing, it did like help my overall character.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can sort of see that. I think with this there's more story stuff assigned to that. Like that there is kind of like you are. I don't remember who it is. I think it's like Paki from GTA 4. But I think actually if you help out like one of the robberies or do one of the side things there, then he would be kind of part of the game. Like he would come into the game, and he would like have a reference to the fourth game and have some sort of storyline stuff in here.
Oh, that's cool.
Something like that is actually really neat.
I never saw that actually.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, like, there's also the thing there where you might not see that all because you might not be in the right place, right time. So it's kind of like, there's pros and cons to that system of like, well, there's all this cool content peppered around, but do you see it? Like, it's cool emergent stuff, but actually there's also the thing where you might not see it at all, which is obviously a shame. I'm completely messing this up. Let's head around here.
Almost as bad as me.
Almost Ben, but at least
You've got a better car.
Yeah, because I chose a better car, that's why. That's how that works out. But so far so good. If I actually slow down a bit, hopefully that will do it better. But yeah, GTA 5, I think, we were chatting about this a second ago, like what our favourite GTA game is. I think 5, if there's such thing as like objectively the best game in the series, I think this one is it. I think open world's the best. I think the mission variety is really superb. I think like older games, like you have really interesting set pieces in missions, but they always come like towards the latter end.
Yeah.
I think with this, like from the get go, like every mission is like a really standout, interesting thing. So that was why I was really compelled to like just play it from start to finish. Granted, it had that little lull, but once I got back into it, it's like, oh yeah, I actually forgot how like diverse and how well put together all this is. Like it looks brilliant, really good missions, that sort of thing. I think my favourite is still like maybe Vice City or San Andreas, just because I think at the time it like was very ambitious, and I have a lot of memories associated with that and just playing that a lot. Like I played San Andreas like so much, whereas this I've kind of like once I kind of like done the story stuff, I wanted to kind of get back to the side quests, but I thought I'd wait till the next gen version and kind of finish that off.
I'll be honest, I don't actually remember much about the missions in particular in 5. I played about 2/3, 3/4 of it. I couldn't tell you, apart from the heists, which I remember really enjoying.
The heists in particular are brilliant.
I would not be able to tell you. I couldn't name like 5 of the missions that aside from the heists. So, like for me, like they weren't that memorable. They seemed. I remember not disliking them or anything like that. But then again, it's like, it's just all other GTA games. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you what I did in them really in terms of missions. But I did like Vice City's style quite a lot, like the whole 80s thing.
Yes, yeah. I wish they kind of would go back to that. I know there's a lot of people saying like make GTA London again or whatever. But yeah, I think they've nailed like this, like the Americana kind of like feel of like GTA 4, GTA 5 in those games. But I'd like to see them maybe branch out and do different things in future. I totally missed that turning. It's weird, I didn't have the blimp in the 360 version, but I never, because you get a code if you buy it early enough in the box, but I never actually took it. So I assume with this, This and other content, there's like murder missions, there's like extra like photography stuff to do with the wildlife. There you go. That is all available only if you bought like the last gen version. So like you link your social club account over, and it unlocks in the second one, and in this one rather. So that's kind of neat. It's like a nice little reward. I don't know if they'll sell that separately. Maybe they should, because that'd be quite nice if people who only jumped in this time get that. But as a reward for people like who spent whatever £60 last year, £60 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I go first person with this? Yeah, you can. Yeah, this is simultaneously quite cool and terrifying.
Are you afraid of heights?
No, it's just the idea of just flying a blimp generally is very strange. Yeah, Ben, where do you want to go? Should we head north? Let's check out the countryside.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, there's a plane above us somewhere. There you go.
Can you go higher than that? Can you go... What is this as high as you can go? I guess you can't tell how high you go now because it's...
No, it's hard to tell. I'm just holding right trigger, and away we go.
Should we go to the Vinewood side?
Yeah, we should. Let's try that out. Yeah, it's very much like left trigger like descends, right trigger ascends. Yeah.
Lots of gauges.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I know exactly what I'm reading here. I know what I'm doing. There you go. There's Vinewood. There's also like loads of little minor things I think added to this one. So like there's extra songs throughout like, all the DJ stations.
There were a lot of songs in the original version, weren't there?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's even more now. They've just gone whole hog. And there's little Easter eggs as well. So there's there's certain plants in a particular region where if you eat them, you can hallucinate and become an animal.
Okay.
You can like crows and like seagulls and chickens, and I think you become like a mountain bear, which is kind of neat. This is a very slow way to get around the open world, but I think it.
But you're kind of cutting through all the roads.
Yeah, oh yeah, very much so. It's a lot quicker. But yeah, it shows.
Do you have a parachute?
I might do. I don't know.
I think you should just.
No, we are getting there 'cause that's Mount Chiliad. But yeah, I think it shows actually how field of view looks on this one. It looks very impressive.
And we look at the mini map here, you are going quite fast.
Yeah.
You should just jump out at some point. I want to see parachute, and if you don't have parachute, I'd like to see you fall to your death.
Thanks, Ben. Where should we jump out? I would like to try and find a mountain bike. I'm trying to think where that would be, because that'd be quite good to show off in terms of first person, just cycling around.
That reminds me of a mission that I did actually like, that I can actually remember now. There's a motorbike mission, or there's a mountain bike mission where you had to there's a chase scene, and at one point you jumped over a train.
Yes, that was very well done. That was actually quite tricky. I remember trying to do that over and over, but when it all kind of went together,
Yeah, that was quite cool.
it's fantastic. Where's good, do you think, to jump out?
Not in the water, because that's just boring.
Well, it depends, parachute wise, where do you want to go? Should we get near the mountain,
Yeah.
or around these roads here?
I would say the bottom of the mountain.
What I enjoyed about the latter missions is that they kind of weave in and out all these northern areas a bit better. So there's missions where you just drive, you're on about driving missions, and I think GTA 5 is still guilty of giving you missions where you're driving for a while, talking and stuff.
Yeah.
But in the last stages, they kind of weave in and out, some of these lakeside roads and through those interesting tunnels. And I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good way to expose that open world. So should I try and jump out?
Yeah.
I
Do
should.
it.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I have a parachute. I think I'm pretty much.
No, don't do that. Honestly, first person. Keep
Yeah.
first person plummeting to your death.
It's actually quite terrifying. Oh what? Does that just miss me? Yeah.
Back to first person. I want to see you die in first person.
Ben, you're so morbid.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, this is.
Look at the ground.
This is terrifying.
Look at the ground.
I can't.
You
You can't move your head. Oh man, this is awful.
This is what it's like to die while jumping off a blimp.
But I don't know how to die when falling off a blimp.
Well-
Jeez.
Oh.
Ah, it's nasty.
I enjoyed that very much.
I know you did, man. It's very, very strange. Hopefully you'll get revived in a local area. No, to come out this far north. But yeah, I suppose it's little things like that I'd want to like replay in first person and kind of like just see how things look and how things play and approach.
Yeah.
Foliage.
PS4 foliage.
Yeah. Also, I should say like it actually plays really well in first person. Like it feels kind of like it's got the momentum like on the sticks as like I say like a Skyrim. Like it feels good.
Yeah, this looks really good.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, I'd like to really do some like mountain biking or first person motorbike, and maybe head up Mount Chiliad, check out some of the views.
I take it you've not unlocked any guns yet or anything like that at this stage?
No, that's a good point. Let's try and find because I've literally just kind of got to the first few hours and then I was just messing around for ages. It'd be good to, there's a gun shop right here. So that's... There's that little, just little flies and stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really neat attention to detail. So you wouldn't be, because people who've actually been watching our videos for a while will know that Ben hasn't bought an next-gen console. But Ben, you've got some news to share.
Earlier this week I did buy PS4.
Yeah, there you go.
It's taken a long time. I was still kind of sceptical of doing it actually, but I thought might as well.
Yeah, I think you've got to do it at some point. I think there's going to be enough games that makes sense. Right, let's head in.
Yeah, I think there was a Dragon Age bundle that kind of sold me on it in the end.
Yeah,
so.
that makes sense. So would you be, so obviously you didn't finish GTA 5, would you be convinced to pick this up? This version on a PS4 or whatever?
I mean, the first person is quite an interesting, is a really appealing selling point.
Yeah.
But I don't think that fixes all the issues I had with the game.
Yeah.
So probably not.
That's fair enough. Yeah, we were chatting to Tom, our video editor, before, and he made actually a really good point. It's like GTA is one of those games where like you kind of make of it what you will. I don't actually have any money.
You got $322, so you need 28.
I need to mug people.
$28, $28.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, and like at the end of the game last time, I just like had £1 billion. Are they just dying on me? I'm just. Alright. Did I get any money there?
I'm assuming you can mug people in the game, right?
Yeah, I think you just literally beat them down and then just take their stuff.
Well, he obviously had no money.
No, clearly not.
Homeless guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one for me because I finished it fairly recently. I went back to it maybe May time before the next gen version was announced, and I finished the story, and I feel like I've kind of had my fill of the storyline side of it. So I don't know if I'll actually replay it anytime soon. Maybe like next year I'll jump back into it.
Yeah, because you have to, because you know, I guess in your case you would have loved it if the saves could carry over.
Yes.
So you wouldn't have to get to the part of unlocking all the areas and all your weapons again and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would have been for me. That would have been the most advantageous stuff because again, I'd done the story. I didn't really do much of the side quest stuff. I think I started doing some of the submarine stuff, and that was kind of like very just took a little bit of time. What is that?
Is she running?
Yeah.
Is that the same woman who?
That might be the same person still running. Yeah, I'd have loved to just kind of like jump back in this and just like play it in first person, take my time with the side missions, and just see the world again rather than play through the story. Again, I think the campaign's the best GTA campaign. Yeah, I think it's very well put together. Are they paramedics? There they are. I assume they are, but they're not necessarily all of them. Yeah, it'd be good to have that option of like, you know, playing from where I left off. But I understand, I don't know, maybe that data, because for what you can do, you can still link your Rockstar account and you can still transfer your GTA Online stuff.
Right.
So GTA 5, if you weren't familiar when it launched, it basically had GTA Online launch a month after release. And that's included in the game, and so this is available from day one. It's got all the same kind of like open world improvements, obviously because it's sitting in the same place. But you can now play up to 30 people in a single kind of match or world. Is that a sheriff? I'm not sure, it's the guy in the hat. So yeah, all that's available day one, and they're adding like online heists are still coming. I think they're coming in the next big update, whenever that is. I'm not sure. Hopefully by the year's end. So that is like you can transfer your character over. So if you've like done all the experience, you've got a bunch of unlocks, you've got a bunch of money equipped. That still carries over. So at the very least, like that's catered for, and I think that's probably given that like if there was a choice, that'd probably be more preferred. I think having your online kind of persona carry over is probably more important.
I assume that Rockstar did consider trying to bring like single player saves over, and I'm assuming that they must have tried, but because it is kind of a feature that would be welcome, but I imagine there must be some sort of technical reason why they couldn't do it.
Yeah, I imagine they probably looked into it, and there probably is a very good reason why they couldn't do it. And that's, just the way kind of like you look at like. Even though this is kind of like the way it kind of transfers online focus, all that online stuff is very much based on their servers.
Because Dragon.
But local content is still on your console.
Yeah.
And getting that into their they might not have saved that data in service. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe that's just too difficult to do.
So Dragon Age Inquisition, because I was reading up on it last night actually, and because it's a BioWare game, game like choices, decisions, they carry over. As they do. So you can do that on the PC version, but with the consoles, because you can't transfer. You can't carry over your saves because they're on. If you're playing on your PS4 or Xbox One, what it did was there was like a web application that you could load up, and you could just input all your decisions, like about hundreds of decisions.
Oh wow!
From the previous 2 Dragon Age games.
Yeah. And
I was looking through that, and I was like, I honestly don't remember what happened. I don't even know what mission this was. I don't even know what quest that was or who this character is. I was just like, wow. But that was how they approached that problem.
And it's difficult because it's like it's very much like story based stuff, where this is very much like progress. Like you've spent this amount of time doing this, that, and the other. So it's tricky. Should we skip or should we? I don't know if we can afford the skip. Let's try it. Yeah, we go. Basically, I'm going to climb Mount Gilead. I just look now.
Like PlayStation have been doing like cross save stuff recently as well, so I feel like at some point in the future it'll become more of a natural thing to implement, hopefully.
Yeah,
like going forwards, like from this current generation to like the PS5 generation.
Yeah. Because I was transferring saves kind of from home for this, like the saves on this. Yes, spikes. There we go. I like good 30 megabytes. To have that for every player. And stuff like that, just uploaded onto a server. If that's as easy as that, it's really difficult to do, right?
Yeah.
So there's very committed. It's a bit of a shame, and again, I would kind of wish I would have had that opportunity, but I can sort of see why. How do I? Oh, you tap X. Okay.
Exerting energy like riding a real bike.
Yeah, and that works for me. So where are we going? I wanted to go up this. Is this the cable car? Yeah, the tramway. Yes, I'm going to try and take a bike onto the tramway. I don't know if it's possible. We're going to find out.
So far, so good.
I feel like we've come full circle by because our very first live stream was GTA 5 last year.
Of course.
And we started and did like very similar things. We started in Franklin's bedroom, and then we kind of went on a cable car up to Mount Gilead, or at least went up Mount Gilead in some form and look around.
I wasn't part of that one.
No, you weren't. That's very true.
I wasn't part of the first live stream, which is weird when you think about it, because I've appeared in like the majority of them.
Yeah.
I've probably appeared in the most, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Can I use my bike on this?
I hope so.
Yeah, there you go. So I assume get. You can go. I don't know if you can go first person last time anyway. Maybe you could. I'm not sure. Yep, up we go. So we can take a look at the. I think the thing I'm keen to see the most is like just see wildlife and explore. Like I do. What I might do actually in the short term is like get through to Trevor's unlocking missions, and then Trevor can actually do like the wildlife and hunting stuff, and that's been added to. So that just like roaming around forests and picking off animals and just like exploring that side of it, I always find more interesting. Like, I'm playing Far Cry 4 right now, and that basically is what I find really fun. Is like, right, I need to upgrade these items. Let's work out what animal skins I need, then let's go to this area, hunt these animals down. And it feels like a very like it connects like the gameplay and the world side of it really well. Those sorts of ideas.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would enjoy that quite a bit in GTA 5 as well, if and when I can get there.
I like that Rockstar clearly put a lot of effort into this version of the game, because you see a lot of remakes or remasters even, and they're kind of hit or miss in terms of like, I mean, like The Last of Us, it was obviously a really good remastered version.
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs, like slightly disappointing. I mean, it's still a good game.
Yeah.
It's still, like that game is still good, but it's not the definitive version of the game, which is what these new gen versions should be aspiring to be. Really.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Sleeping Dogs very much just had like, here's the DLC. It runs a bit better, but not quite as optimized as you probably want on an next gen version.
And the PC version still was better than that version.
Yeah, which was released 2 years earlier.
At the same time as the 360 and PS3 version. So
yeah,
that's a slight disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this actually comes out at a really good time. Like it's close enough to the release that people still have enjoyed the game and want to continue playing it. So it's not like an old game that has kind of like been out years and years before. Like I think Sleeping Dogs has come out at a weird time. Probably a good time because it's early in the console's lifespan. There's probably some interest there, but weird because it's actually kind of a couple of years old at this point.
Yeah.
And may show actually we played it and it seemed to hold up fine.
The visuals is, and the kind of the setting of Hong Kong, those are two of the strongest aspects of it.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why it held up quite well.
Yeah. But not every remaster and re-release does that. Whereas GTA 5 I think has actually come out close enough that it's been a year on. There's like enough really good features where like you can play this and actually think, okay, I still remember this game and I'm happy to pay like 60 quid again to go through it. Am I still in my? No, I didn't get my bike. I don't know if I actually can. Yes, there you go.
I wish there was a way you can like push your bike, like a pedestrian.
Yeah, I think the game is quite confused.
Is on this new?
No, there you go. I wasn't. There you go. So there you go. You can take your bike up. That I didn't know before. Let's take the trail. Where do you want to go then? Left or right?
Old Man's Crack.
Yeah, I assume it's. Oh god. Oh god.
Do it.
There it is.
That's what you should end it on. You should just drive right
end
off
the
that.
stream by this, yeah. Let's head this way actually. You can force first person in GTA Online as well. For stuff that you set up. It's a handsome looking game. Oh god. Sorry guys, I'm just biking through here. Where do you want to go? Let's just head down this trail.
Yeah, just wander around.
Bell's End.
So I guess the interesting thing about implementing the first person here is the merits of first person versus third person. I mean, it seems like you find the first person more immersive and just you feel more engaged in the world. Does that mean that you feel like most? Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh wow. Totally intentional. I knew what I was doing. That's fine.
Wow. I can't believe. Oh wow.
Let's keep going. Why not? Why not?
I was gonna say, does that mean you you prefer like first person games like in general?
I think with this, I think there's certainly a bit of novelty to it, right? I think the fact that I've played through GTA 5 before, and this is a new way to see the world, and the way they've kind of enhanced the game to kind of
Oh,
this might finish me off. No, all good. It means like there is a real like reason to play it in first person again.
Yeah.
I'd probably jump back and forth when I'm playing the full thing. I think again.
If this option was made right at the beginning, like in the original version, would you have played through the game in first person over third person?
Again, it would be the same. It'd be like I'd jump back and forth. I don't think immersion is as simple as that. I don't think it's like just because it's in first person, it's more immersive. I think this brings out more details close up, and it kind of gives you a different perspective for sure. But like would I want to play Mass Effect in first person like just because it technically would be more immersive? I don't think so. Like because that is Shepard's story and combat would work better and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just depends. I think a game like this where the world is so realised in an open world way. There you go. The shrub finished me off. That was a good run though. I'm surprised it actually lasted that long. Yes, about that. Like I haven't, I think when GTA 5 came out, again, I was less focused on the world and more on the story stuff. Probably because I've played a million GTAs at this point. I've done the whole kind of, running around, kind of like doing the kind of hijinks and just like trying to get away from the cops at a 4-star level. But this, I can actually like see myself doing that again because it's like it's different enough and there's enough detail in it now that I can actually in first person go back to it.
Yeah.
And do that again. It's fun. Yeah. I don't know how long that would last, but for now it's kind of like this is actually kind of cool.
Wow.
See.
That's quite.
Oh wow. Right. Yeah, most people just want to start fights. I'm not even necessarily losing. Right, okay.
Someone's behind you.
So you've got maybe 5 minutes left.
Someone's behind you.
Yeah? If I just run the other way, maybe I'll get bored. Ben, was there anything in this world that you wanted to see?
I want to see you die in a spectacular way.
We've already seen that happen twice. I've fallen from
Let's make a hat trick.
I've fallen from a blimp, and I've also mountain bike down the side of a mountain. I think there's an animal down here. There's a cat in the distance. Yeah, there's cats and dogs in the game. Like in the urban areas, there's also quote unquote wildlife. Was that a cat? Or was that actually a dog? Was that a wolf or something?
That's more like a dog, but I can't really see.
Yeah. Just chasing it. Yeah, there might be kind of more wildlife.
Okay, I want you to
Around the map.
stir up trouble, get the cops in, and nick one of their guns.
I actually want to go to the lake. I just ignored your request, even though I've asked you what we should do. I'm like, no, let's go see some water. Water's always good. Yeah, the water looked very pretty in the last one, and then from there's a few beach scenes early on in the story, and now it looks even better. I heard nighttime as well. It looks fantastic.
Oh, there's a cat.
There's a cat. I accidentally kicked a cat earlier, and I felt really guilty. I don't think I would have, maybe in third person necessarily have felt that. It's interesting. There's a lot of articles online. People saying how the first person perspective kind of brings out the violent side of GTA to the fore and makes you feel a bit more oh god, what am I doing?
Right.
Which is really interesting. You talk about immersion, that's kind of maybe where that kind of ties in a bit better.
Because in third person, you're obviously playing, a different character. You're playing Franklin or especially Trevor.
Yeah.
It's very much you're
detached a bit from it's them doing these things rather than you.
Even though in first person, even though you're playing as the same characters, you don't see their faces. You don't you don't. It's coming from your perspective, so it's a lot. Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, it's just I think the fact that it is literally closer to your vision rather than over someone's shoulder.
Yeah.
The fact that it's you can we just walked around and see all these different people. I don't remember seeing. I'm remembering the people actually in the world. Whereas this they do. Yeah. Water's good. Should we try and swim?
Okay.
Through a boat.
Can you fish?
But yeah, I remember actually playing it last time. In the kind of outskirts areas, along the beaches. There's a lot of little events that would happen, a lot of little secrets to find. So I actually enjoyed doing that quite a bit when I had the spare time between missions. Yeah, water looks good. It's fairly shallow.
First person swimming.
Yeah. not sure where I'm going. But yeah, it's kind of like the fact that, you know, if this was just a visual upgrade, I don't think I'd be as interested in doing like little things like this. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like a really simple thing, but I think just the simple inclusion of adding first person, at least for me, has made me want to kind of like mess around in the world and try different activities again. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, obviously we've barely covered like most of the additions, most of the changes, but it's for like a year-old game that's already been out there. I don't think that's kind of necessarily as like actually like going through the story stuff. I don't think it's as valuable. And a lot of the new stuff is actually peppered throughout the game. It's not like, well, here's XY feature. Like murder mystery missions, they kind of are sprinkled throughout the game, rather than like, okay, you're now playing as Michael or whatever, and then this blip appears on the map. It's not as simple as that. So, you know, that's actually quite nice. It folds into the story a bit more in that regard.
Take his fishing rod. You probably can't, but
I don't.
I want you to try anyway.
Yeah. There's a boat. There's new weapons. I think there's a railgun that you get through shooting gallery challenges, and also a hatchet, which I imagine would be particularly weird in first person. Just, you know, kind of very like horror movie-esque. Yeah, it's cool. That is oh god, I'll just fall over. Yeah, yeah. It's surprisingly fun. I think we'll probably wrap up. So yeah, we're saying like you bought a PS4. You probably wouldn't pick this back up anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. If I didn't bother finishing the original story, then I don't think
you'd go from the beginning.
No.
Again. Yeah, I think I will at some point. I think I want to at least get to a certain point and then unlock all 3 characters and do all their respective side content. It's stuff that I kind of brushed over a little bit. From what I did play of it, it was quite good. So just try and go into third person. To all this stuff. Yeah, I think I want us to do a stream on GTA Online actually at some point. I think it's something we probably should look at again, especially like when the heists are out, when December is a little bit quieter. Maybe if that's a good time to do it.
Yeah.
It'd be good to actually look at that, because I think from what I played of it, it did seem really interesting. I think it was like a kind of a neat, way to kind of integrate like multiplayer matches and kind of activities in a massive world like this. So that's pretty cool. I think we'll probably do something again on this. And also another good reason to actually pick this up is the DLC, which I believe is still coming at some point. There's should be like single player expansions similar to how GTA 4 had extra stories. So for me at least, that's kind of like a good reason to pick it up. Based on how that goes. Ben, what should we do to see us out?
I want you to die one more time.
Jesus.
I just get a kick out of seeing
Virtual.
you die.
Just me in particular.
Yes.
That's probably that's strangely a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like understandable. So what's the best way to go then?
Can you crash into one of the cars head on?
So I'm pretty sure if I was in third person I couldn't weave in and out of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes.
Oh Ben. Okay, I think we probably should finish up. So this was GTA 5. We do broadcasts on Twitch a lot recently, an awful lot, because there's been lots of games. We want to show loads of cool games, loads of like the best games that are kind of coming out in November. So we've done a ton of those. We'll kind of do a few more before it wraps up, and a few more every week as well. So we do a regular stream on Wednesdays at 1 PM UK time, and we broadcast on Twitch at Digital Spy UK. But obviously we do loads of extra other streams. So if you want to be kind of kept kind of informed of when we do all our various other stuff, and then give us a subscribe, because that would be quite cool, and you can follow us and watch us do our stuff. And Ben, any kind of closing thoughts?
This seems like a very good version of the game. It seems like the definitive version of the game. Yeah. I just enjoy it.
Cool. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna kind of like, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, that was brutal. Jeez.
Also, when's the PC version coming out?
Oh yes, there is a PC version coming in, I think January. I don't know if they said that. Yeah. But it's like early next year, I think, which is good. But yeah, I think I'm going to just be like dipping in and out of this, messing around with the open world, which again I haven't done with a GTA game for a long time, just because first person makes it just that bit more interesting. So that's us done. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again very, very soon.